Three new faces will help lead the county school board. Good evening. This is CTV News. I'm Patricia Vallone. Well, three final appointees are announced for the reconstituted school board in Prince George's. Dr. Beverly Anderson is one of the three new members appointed by the county executive and county council. Anderson, Curtis Valentine, and Dr. Daniel Kaufman were all sworn in this afternoon in the council hearing room. We hope to have sound so that you can hear from them directly later in the newscast. Meantime, despite a flurry of protests during the General Assembly session, elected school board members are now voicing support for that reconstituted board. Several came out to today's swearing in, saying they had to get beyond the politics of education.
Our principals and our teachers are focused on education and ensuring that all of our students receive the best education from pre-kindergarten all the way through college. That's what it's about. We're in this together. We are a team. No matter how you look at it, it's not about politics. It's about what is best for our children, our administrators, and this community.
And the new law stipulates that one of the county executive's three appointees must have education experience, one must have business, finance, or higher education as background, and the other must have management experience. The council appointee must be a parent with a child currently enrolled in the Prince George's school system. Well, the advocacy group Citizens for an Elected Board fought against giving the county executive authority to appoint a new schools chief and new school board members. The group, led by David Kahn, spearheaded an unsuccessful petition drive to overturn the school governance law. Mr. Kahn joins us in the studio tonight. And why don't we start? This petition drive that you had, tell us about that just briefly.
Well, under the Constitution of Maryland, we have an opportunity to overturn most laws that are passed by the General Assembly, and this was one of them. Unfortunately, the odds are stacked against anyone who wants to do that. You have to collect, in this case, almost 8,000 names in the first month after the General Assembly meets, and then another 16,000, total of about 24,000 names by the end of June. We got about 5,500, just under 5,500 names by the end of May, which was pretty good considering the law was passed at the very last minute. Nobody knew anything about it. Most of the people whom we approached to sign the petition had not heard about the school takeover. And that's because it was done over Easter weekend without any hearings here in Prince George's County, with a moving target. In one hearing, we didn't even have the text until we walked into the hearing. So how can you testify on it?
Well, let's talk about these new school appointees. What do you know, if anything, about them?
Very little, if anything, and that's not really the point, is it? The point is that they work for Mr. Baker, not for us. Their loyalty is to Mr. Baker. Their accountability is to Mr. Baker. The other school board members, the elected members, are accountable to their electorate. These people do not work for me or you or the people who are watching this show. They work for Rashern Baker. And frankly, it doesn't really matter who they are. They'll do whatever he says. And
do you know about this whole vetting process, what took place?
No, and it really doesn't matter. The law gives the county executive unfettered authority to choose whom he wants, as long as they fit each of those categories that you mentioned earlier. He can have a vetting process. He doesn't have to. It's a great show.
And tell us, do you see some political challenges ahead in terms of this issue? How is this hybrid mix going to really work together? Everybody's saying they are, but how do you see it happening?
Well, there may be differences from time to time. I don't think that's going to make a lot of difference. The board has almost no power, so very little that they do is going to matter to the education of our children under the new law. The superintendent has almost all the power, except the budget, which is going to be worked on this week.
And how do you see this whole new structure panning out, and what future plans do you have? Are you still hoping to come back and fight this?
Okay, first part of the question. This law, this takeover, has nothing to do with children or their education. it has to do with power, who's calling the shots. Every study of changes in board governance until recently have shown that it makes no difference to student achievement. The most recent study that focused on executive takeovers like this shows that there is a slight diminution in the rate of improvement and a widening of the achievement gap. As far as what we're going to do, we will continue what we can with the legislature. Over the years, we will be observant, we'll be checking facts, and we urge everybody to be a fact checker as to what's said, what's done.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Khan, and I'm sure this issue we'll be hearing a lot more about it.
I expect so.
And back to that top story we told you about, there are 3 final appointees that have been announced for the reconstituted school board here in Prince George's.
According to the Constitution.
According to the Constitution.
And laws of this state.
And laws of this state.
And the Charter and laws.
And the Charter and laws.
Of Prince George's County.
Of Prince George's County.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Dr. Beverly Anderson is one of 3 new members, as we mentioned, who is appointed by the County Executive and County Council. Anderson, Curtis Valentine, and Dr. Daniel Kaufman were all sworn in this afternoon in the council hearing room. They joined Dr. Segun Eubanks, who was recently appointed as chair.
This is not about me. This is not about the campaign for education in our county. Can't be about Curtis Valentine. It can't be about Segun Eubanks or even Rashawn Baker. It has to be about the parents and the children. The over 130,000 students who go to school every day, who wake up every morning trusting that the school system will prepare their children for the future.
Competition that we have is now with countries, not just with within our state or within our county. And so we have to make sure that our children are fully equipped to have with the knowledge and skills and abilities that they need to be successful. And we all will benefit from that.
The process we used to find these candidates helped us reveal the tremendous level of talent that we have here in Prince George's County. We have some really great candidates with diverse and relevant backgrounds that applied.
And House Bill 1107 went into effect on June 1st. The 4 new members joined the current elected 10, bringing the total voting members to 14. Under the new law, the county executive appoints 3 members to the Board of Education, and the county council appoints 1. Meantime, Maryland State Police are conducting a death investigation after a body is discovered laying in the grassy median of a 4-lane highway this morning in Cheverly. A CTV crew was the first on the scene with a camera. Later, we spoke with a commander about the incident.
This morning, around 10:20 in the morning, we get a phone call of a body that was located in the middle of the medium strip, Route 50 eastbound, just east of 201, which is Kenilworth Avenue. The body was found by a state highway administrative road crew that works on the guardrails and the grass. They located the body between the 2 guardrails. We responded with troopers, confirmed that there was a body, and we called the crash team, criminal investigation team, and crime lab. We are in the process of identifying the body and notifying the next of kin.
And as we mentioned, police have not released any information about the victim. An autopsy will be conducted to determine the cause of death. Left-bound lanes along that stretch of Route 50 were shut down for about 5 hours, but police expect to reopen them to traffic in time for the evening rush hour commute. Authorities are hoping witnesses can help piece together the events that led to a fatal hit-and-run in Largo earlier this month. State police say about 2 a.m. on June 8th, the victim, Tiara Jackson, was driving on the outer loop near the Ritchie Marlboro Road when her blue Chrysler Sebring hit a guardrail and spun out before coming to a stop on the left shoulder. Investigators believe the 22-year-old Clinton woman then got out of the car and walked into the road, where she was struck by multiple vehicles. None of the cars that hit her stayed on that scene. Detectives are looking for drivers who were in the area at the time and may have seen something that can help them in their investigation. Anyone with information is asked to contact Maryland State Police at 301-568-8101.